In today's video, I'm talking about 5 rules that I live by to maintain an 11% body fat year-round. That's not just some random number, but I recently got a DEXA scan and it showed about 11.5% body fat, which quite frankly, I was very happy with because I've been in a lean bulking phase for over a year now. Usually, if you're in a bulking phase, that's when your body fat percentage is higher, and when you're in a cutting or a fat loss phase, it'll be lower at that point. So for me to be at my higher body fat percentage around 11.5, that is really something that I am happy with. And I wanted to share with you 5 rules that I find myself kind of living by year round that have really contributed the most to being able to stay that lean and maintain that body composition, no matter what phase I'm in, no matter what calendar, part of the calendar year it is. There's no secret or magic or quick fix to this fitness stuff and getting in shape and staying in shape, but it really comes down to your lifestyle and your habits on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis. So I really hope you enjoy the video. I hope you find it helpful, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments if you implement any of these 5 habits and 5 rules in your life as well. So the first rule that I live by is aiming for 10,000 steps per day. It's a very cliche thing to do and very popular number to aim for obvious reasons. The reason I aim for 10,000 a day is that I find that naturally I get in maybe 7,000 or 8,000 steps a day, and I want to shoot for something just slightly above what I'm doing normally. So if you normally get in 12,000 steps a day, maybe your target should be 15,000. But for me, steps is something that I've prioritized over the last 3 years now. And I've got data from my Garmin watch here over the last 3 years. 3 years ago, my average steps count per day was around 8,000. Last year, my steps count, the average was about 9,500. So this current 12-month block, I'm really hoping it's the first year that I'm able to average over 10,000 steps per day. The reason why this is one of my 5 rules that I try to follow and really prioritize is because it's a direct reflection of how sedentary or active you are in your life. Doesn't matter how many cardio sessions you do, how many workouts you do, but the majority of the time, day to day, are you someone who's active or are you someone who's sedentary? Because you could do an hour worth of cardio 6 days a week and still only get in 4,000 steps that day if that's your only movement, and then you go to your desk and you work for 12 hours at your desk, and you'd generally be considered a more sedentary person and you wouldn't reap the health benefits of someone who is more active and getting in 8, 10, 12, 15,000 steps per day. So for me, it's that longevity, it's the long-term health and disease prevention benefits of being someone who lives an active life, which is the reason why I'm aiming for 10,000 steps per day. It quite honestly doesn't have anything to do with physique or aesthetic-based goals. For me, it's all about long-term health. That being said, if you're in a fat loss phase, the more steps you get in, the easier it'll be to lose weight, right? So I might go a little bit harder at it in a fat loss phase. Rule number 2 that I live by is to make strength training part of my weekly routine by getting in at least 4 or 5 strength training sessions per week. Now, I've been doing this for 12 or 13 years now. It's been ingrained in my life. It's been something that has been a major priority in my life for many reasons. But one of the top reasons being my aesthetic-based goals and building a physique that I'm very happy with, that makes me feel good, that makes me confident, that makes me feel strong. And when it comes to building a great physique or great body composition, which is the ratio of muscle mass to fat mass that you have, there's no better exercise than strength training consistently. And again, there are certain phases where I'm training 6 times a week because I'm eating a ton more food and I have more fuel. And there's other phases where I'm training more like 4 times a week. But generally speaking, 4 to 5 times a week is how many times I've been strength training for the last decade and a half. The third rule I live by is to practice nutrition automation. And this is a term that I coined, that I use. I've never heard it anywhere else. But what I mean by nutrition automation is essentially picking one meal in the day, or maybe even 2 meals in the day, that's gonna be the same every day. It's essentially streamlining your nutrition so that you don't have to make a ton of decisions throughout the day of what you should be eating. So you can avoid having to wing it with what meals to eat every day. And the idea is just that you are more prepared with your eating. So what I like to do is I like to automate my lunch meal. And this is what I recommend a lot of my clients do as well. The lunch meal is the one that you eat at the busiest point in your day, right? You're typically in the middle of the workday. You may be running in and out of meetings. You may have, a lot of work going on, and to have a meal that's already decided upon, already ready to go, that you don't have to think about, you don't have to make an impulse decision. You're not gonna end up buying Chinese food or fast food or something like that, but it's already decided on every single day. It makes nutrition way easier. Like if you have to decide 3 meals every day and what to eat and which meals are gonna be healthy and what are good options near you, and I only have to do that 1 or 2 times in the day, I'm probably gonna be more consistent than you. Obviously, the automated meal is gonna be a healthier meal that's beneficial to your goals that you know the macros of. So pizza is not a good automated meal. But I've been doing this for years, going on maybe 6 or 7 years. I've been practicing nutrition automation, and what you do is once you get sick of that meal, which will happen at some point, you just switch it to a different automated meal, right? An automated meal might last a week on the short end, right? You automate your lunch meal for that week and then you switch it to a new meal. Or you might be fine eating that meal for 6 months. I once had an automated meal for over a year. I would have 2 whole eggs with 5 servings of egg whites, some turkey bacon on the side, and some toast. That was one of my automated meals for over a year during the pandemic. Rule number 4 that I live by is trying to keep the meals that I eat out to just 1 time per week. Now let's be real, there's times where I go out to eat more than once per week. Some weeks it might be 2, sometimes it might even be 3. And of course there's gonna be vacations and trips and special things going on where you go out to eat more times. But generally speaking, like 45 or 48 weeks out of a calendar year, I'm really actively trying to have most of my meals prepared at home and not go out to eat and not order out more than once per week. And there's a few reasons for this. The first and main reason is that I'm tracking my macros so that I can maintain a really good body composition, right? You don't really get to maintain 10 or 11 or 12% body fat year round without being someone who's like pretty diligently monitoring their nutrition, whether you're tracking your macros or just have a lot of experience with nutrition. You really have to know the things that you're eating pretty well. And going out to eat, you're gonna have to estimate what the macros are of that meal, which is never gonna be super accurate. So I'd rather not have to estimate and get wrong the macros of a nice big meal that I eat more than once or twice a week. In most cases, when it comes to your health, when it comes to your macros, your physique, when it comes to saving time, you're probably just gonna be better off having a meal ready to go at home. And if you're somebody who currently eats out right now 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week, I promise you, if you cut that down to 1 time per week, you will see results in your body and changes in your physique that you've literally never seen before. That's if you're currently going out to eat multiple times a week and you swap that out with either making your own meals or using a meal prep service. Now, the 5th rule that I live by is that I'm always going to be working with a coach. And I know it's easy to come on here and say like, oh, I always work with a coach, kind of inferring that you should always work with a coach too. And me being a coach that you're watching the YouTube videos of, I see how that kind of comes across. But on the flip side of that, I'm someone who's legitimately been paying a coach every single month for the last 6 or 7 years. So it's something that I'm actually doing. And the reason for that, there's a few of them, but the main one is for accountability. I know what macros I should be eating to reach my goals. I can draw up my own workout program to follow and see good results with. So I have all the information and knowledge. I know what to do, and you probably know what to do for your own goals as well. But from my past experience working with coaches and also self-coaching, I know for a fact that I'm just significantly more consistent with tracking my macros, with eating healthier foods, with doing some cardio, with getting in more steps. I'm more consistent with all of my fitness and nutrition when I have to report all that stuff that I'm doing back to a coach? Honestly, I care about people. I really don't like letting people down. And I don't want to let my coach down and have to tell him that I didn't track my food, or that I didn't hit my macros for multiple days in a row, or that I went out to get fast food multiple times. That makes a difference when you have to report back what you're eating or what you're doing in your fitness to someone else who you care about and who cares about you. And that's the major reason why I still work with a coach, is because I know I'm going to be more consistent with all the things I already know I should be doing. And it's just an added bonus. It's just icing on the cake that he takes care of all my fitness for me, right? He handles it for me. He tells me what workouts to do. I could draw up my own routine, like I said, but that's gonna take time as well. And adjusting it and giving me exercises that maybe I don't personally love or prefer. I might not choose to do certain exercises in the gym that he's having me do. It's good to do some things that are out of your comfort zone. It's good to do things that maybe aren't your favorite, because it pushes you and nudges you to get better. And just like going out to eat multiple times a week, if you cut that down to one time, I promise you're gonna see insane results. The same applies to working with a coach. If you're getting in good shape right now, if you're getting yourself good results, or if you've lost weight yourself before and have done that on your own and you haven't worked with a coach, I promise you, working with a coach, a good one of course, that's experienced, that knows what he's doing, that serves you well, it will skyrocket your results. You will see progress and you will build a physique that you've never done before. Even if you don't technically learn anything secret or groundbreaking that you didn't know before. And that's why, me personally, why wouldn't I spend a few $100 a month to work with a coach? That's 1 or 2 meals out. If you're eating, 3 meals out right now and you stop going out to eat 1 extra time, maybe 2 extra times, that's could be, your monthly fees right there. Working with an online trainer is not nearly as expensive as it is to work with us in person in the gym. And I would argue that it's way more valuable. You get way more out of it, because it's more of a holistic approach. Anyway, those are the 5 rules that I live by to maintain a body composition somewhere in the 10 to 12% body fat range year round, no matter what's going on in my life, no matter what season it is, what holidays it is, if it's summertime, if I'm on vacation, if I'm really stressed out, no matter what's going on. And I promise, if you implement many or all of these rules in your life and you truly live by them for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, that it will have a really positive and significant impact on your body composition as well. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, consider subscribing to my channel, because I make new videos just like this every single week. I'll catch you on the next video, which I'm gonna leave right up here for you, so I'll see you over there.